Hi, this is Daniel DiTuro. Are you afraid eating carbohydrates causes dangerous blood sugar spikes? In this video, I'll share the types of carbs and sugar, carbs and blood sugar levels, blood sugar and diabetes, and how your body digests sugar and starch. Most people associate carbohydrates with sugar and starch. A third type of carb is fiber. All carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram. While fiber has 4 calories per gram, it is used by gut bacteria for fuel. Your body's cells rely on fuel from sugar and starch calories. Mention the word sugar, and most people think of refined white sugar. Refined white sugar is a low-nutrient, ultra-processed food that is 50% glucose and 50% fructose. There are many other types of sugar. The most common types are classified as mono, di, poly, and oligosaccharides. The classification refers to the number of sugar molecules from 1 to more than 11. Glucose and fructose are monosaccharides. Sucrose, table sugar, a disaccharide. Starches are polysaccharides, and oligosaccharides have 3 to 10 fructose or galactose molecules. Starches are sometimes called complex carbohydrates. Carbohydrates come from plant foods. Common sources include fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Less common sources include flowers, seaweed, sprouts, and roots. All plant foods are a combination of fiber, sugar, and starch. Just like all fats are a combination of saturated, polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated fatty acids. Some plant foods, like beans, are high in fiber and starch and low in sugar. Whole grains and potatoes are high in starch and low in fiber and sugar. Ripe fruit tends to be high in sugar and starch and low in fiber. One difference between ripe and unripe fruit is the ratio of sugar to starch. Starch is a chain of glucose molecules, but glucose is not a sweet sugar. You can test the sweetness of glucose by tasting any starch or corn syrup. As fruit ripen, starch is converted to fructose, a very sweet sugar. Some diets condemn eating sweet fruit, but the sugar in ripe fruit is not 100% glucose, and your body cannot use fructose directly for fuel. Fructose and other sugars in fruit must be converted to glucose. A medium-ripe banana has 27 grams of total carbs. About 53% is sugar and 35% starch. Of a banana's 27 grams of carbohydrates, about 34% is available to elevate blood sugar levels. Here's a quiz. Will a banana's 9.5 grams of starch cause rapid blood sugar spikes? The answer is later in this video. For most people, carbohydrates are their main source of energy. A secondary source is fat and body fat converted to ketones. Your body tries to maintain about 4 grams of total blood glucose 24 hours a day. Eating carbohydrates increases blood glucose levels above 4 grams. Increased blood glucose signals your pancreas to release insulin. Insulin allows your cells to absorb and use glucose for fuel. Blood glucose levels usually return to normal levels within 4 to 6 hours after eating. Consistently high blood glucose levels is defined as diabetes. Contrary to a popular myth, eating sweet fruit does not increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Diets high in ultra-processed foods are linked to weight gain and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Mass-produced, high-refined carb, ultra-processed foods are a product of the 20th century. I will now share how your body processes sugar and starch, which will answer my quiz. Digesting carbohydrates, like other foods, begins in your mouth. Chewing and enzymes in saliva begin breaking down food nutrients. Nutrients in cooked foods are broken down and absorbed more rapidly than uncooked foods. Foods and beverages travel down the esophagus to the stomach, where acid further breaks down nutrients. The monosaccharide glucose is absorbed into your bloodstream, elevating blood sugar. The disaccharide sucrose and high fructose corn syrup are separated into glucose and fructose. The glucose is absorbed and available for immediate energy. Fructose is absorbed and travels to your liver for processing into glucose, glycogen, and lactate. The glycogen is stored in your liver and muscles for later use. Glucose and lactate are released into the bloodstream for fuel. The rate of absorption depends on whether the sugars are in an easily available form or combined with other nutrients. Starch conversion is even more complex. Many low-carb dieters are led to believe that starch is converted directly to glucose, causing immediate blood sugar spikes. Converting starch to glucose is a three-step process. Step 1 converts starch to glucose strands. Step 2 converts glucose strands to maltose, a disaccharide with 2 glucose molecules. In step 3, the disaccharide maltose is converted to the monosaccharide glucose. The belief that bread, pasta, potatoes, and other high-starch foods are absorbed directly into the bloodstream, causing dangerous glucose spikes, is a myth. Combining high-starch foods with fat and protein slows absorption even more, reducing blood sugar spikes. So the 10 grams of starch in a banana does not cause dangerous blood glucose spikes. What can flood your bloodstream with glucose are diets high in refined sugars and grains, providing more sugar than your body needs. The excess sugar is converted to body fat, causing weight gain, and increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. Enjoy the many health benefits of minimally processed carbs, and limit or avoid foods and beverages high in refined carbs. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about this video. Thank you for watching, and healthy eating.